Have you ever wondered how you could possibly just be yourself? Aren't you already being yourself simply by existing just as you are from day to day? Sure, you may display or tell a lie about yourself here and there occasionally, but who doesn't? After all, we're all liars when it serves our purpose, as Cornelia Funk so plainly puts it. We all know, deep down, that it's not malicious to dabble in infrequent insincerity when the situation justifies the deed. Well, at least that's how most people, including myself, rationalize lying, as we all have grown up hearing that only bad people lied. Good people, they always tell the truth, no matter what. As well-intentioned and necessary as it is to instill a moral compass in children by drawing out clear lines between right and wrong, this inflexible generalization of the world has given birth to unintended consequences. Consequences that impacts kids as young as 5 to feel the need to lie, whether that be inconsequential white lies or an outright fabrication. Whatever the case is, research has nonetheless confirmed that lying is an instinctive aspect of human nature. And because practical pretense is so instinctive, teens have cemented their place as the demographic that lies the most. Unsurprisingly, this does not come as news to me, because it's no secret that your teenage years make you undergo through transformations in all areas of life. Another fact that's universally acknowledged about adolescence is that identity crises are simply an inescapable headache that we will eventually encounter on our journey of self-exploration as we navigate through life with a stronger sense of self than ever before. As a teenager myself, I can wholeheartedly attest that I am constantly in search of an identity that I can label as my authentic sense of self. But I have come to the conclusion that being yourself is an impossible feat to accomplish. In fact, I will go as far to insist that no one is capable of revealing their hidden authentic selves, because it's an element that simply does not exist. Now, I understand that you may be reasonably taken aback by this bold declaration, but hear me out. All humans subconsciously imitate the gestures, speech patterns, mannerisms, accompanied by other behavioral patterns of people we interact with. This ingrained characteristic is known as mirroring, and we don't even realize that we are adjusting our demeanor to better correspond with the person we're interacting with, because it's basically second nature to us. This phenomenon is also referred to as the chameleon effect, which in itself is pretty self-explanatory, as the chameleon is an animal that changes its appearance in order to blend in with any environment it finds itself in. My favorite facts about the chameleon effect definitely has to be our tendency to pick up the idiosyncrasies of the people we trust and love. Haven't you ever noticed one of your friends picking up on your gestures or one of your habits? How about when you unintentionally use a speech pattern or catchphrase that is a signature trademark of your best friend? This formidable level of mirroring is most commonly referred to as the proximity effect, as it only ever happens with people you spend the most time with. Hence, as a consequence, the proximity effect is predominantly exemplified by couples and friends who have stood the test of time. Speaking of which, the only other circumstance where you can witness this behavior in full effect is to have experienced going to school, specifically middle and high school, as, in my opinion, there is no better environment that vividly demonstrates the fleeting nature of identities than a place packed to the brim with hormonal teenagers who are really, really desperate for approval. So desperate, in fact, that socialization entirely depends on how successfully you can overcompensate for what you lack, while simultaneously suppressing what you overcompensate for. In other words, a different aspect of yourself rises to the surface every time the person we're mirroring changes. This is made more evident whenever you see your classmates' behavior do a 180 when the teacher shows up. A persona is a requirement for getting a job and even to impress your date. Twisting facts about yourself to appear more appealing than what you actually are, which, let's be honest, we've all done that, as well as to blatantly deny an aspect of yourself due to fear of disapproval or stigmatization, are all one of the myriad of examples. To summarize it primarily, what I'm saying is, how can you mash all that intricate variations of yourself into one giant artifact for a grand reveal when different people bring out different aspects of yourself depending on the circumstances? I think a quote by the Italian novelist Luigi Pirandello perfectly encapsulates my point, as he stated, quote, "Your identity lies in that, the difference between what you know about yourself, what others know, and what others merely think." Thank you.